Sports lovers, welcome back to Heart of the Matter, HOM. This is your number one sports podcast channel on YouTube right now. This is the hot cake of all the sports channel on YouTube right now. So do me a favor before we can go on. Click that subscribe button, turn on the notification so that you're notified each and every time we come on air to talk about sports, talk about your favorite team, talk about everything and anything that happens in the world of sports, in worlds of entertainment. Sometimes politics, we'll just slide in and talk about politics. But today, I just want to say sports is back. Basketball will be back soon. Football is back, preseason started. Soccer is back after the World Cup, and the Premier League, La Liga, League One, Italian League, all these leagues are back and it's popping. Everybody's excited. My team, Manchester United, I'm looking forward to see them play this coming weekend. I'm super, super, super excited. I know you too, you're excited. You can't wait to watch your team. And I'm here just to give you a quick review on what I think or how I see this season gonna pan out. I also will be talking about the changes that different teams have made in this off season during World Cup and after the World Cup. With 2 weeks left into the closure of transfer, teams are still in the market trying to collect their arsenal, collect arm their team and build a strong team that's gonna compete into this coming season that's gonna start. But before we get too deep into this conversation, we can't be talking about soccer without the biggest news that just came out recently, and that is the one and only, the greatest of all time, according to where you put him. Some people agree it's Messi, others talk about Ronaldo, but in this case I'm talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, the god of Portugal football. And he recently came out and said this might be his last time playing soccer. Wow. Cristiano Ronaldo, what a time he has given. His dedication, his passion, his hard work, his relentless skills, entertainment. He changed the game. He made people fall in love with football or soccer in whatever country you are. He made people love fashion. He made people, whatever Cristiano touch turned into gold. And of course, we say everything people touch turns into gold, but whatever Cristiano touched turned into gold and goals. This guy is en route to reach 1,000 goals, and that is his motive right now. He's only left with, I think, he's 924, so he's left with 946. He's left with a few goals before he can attain this milestone. We should let me know in the comment section how many goals Cristiano Ronaldo has. I don't have it at the top of my head, but he's closer to attaining 1,000 goals. That if he reaches that will be peak football, peak soccer that we are blessed in this generation to experience, to understand, to exploit, to enjoy. And whatever Cristiano does after this, man, I know he's still gonna turn it into gold and goals. Now, before further ado, I just wanna say, the Premier League is back. Last Sunday, we saw a game. It wasn't even a contest anyway. Manchester City, who won the FA Cup, versus Arsenal, who won the Premier League. And my oh my, Arsenal dog walked Manchester City the entire game. Manchester City were a shell of the team they used to be under Pep Guardiola. And we're going to talk about Manchester City in a few when we'll be doing the review. But right now I want to give this shout out to Arsenal for winning the Community Shield. And now they look strong coming into the new season as defending champs. It's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do moving forward. I'm excited to, get to see, because last season they were being bashed a lot on how they used to score their goals. They were called Corner FC. They were called given all these sorts of names. They said them winning the Premier League was the most boring thing because they were not scoring legit goals. They were scoring mostly from set pieces. So it's going to be interesting coming into the new season since they haven't even reinforced at the front. But they've done some good moves in the market. We saw some brilliant names that were also being linked with them. One of them being Vinicius Junior, which eventually didn't, turn out. But in terms of transfer, Arsenal have lost Leandro Trossard. They've also lost Kiwor. They've lost Hain and Nogard. Those are the players they've lost. But they've acquired their defender, he was there on loan last season, Hanekapi. They've acquired the biggest, I think one of their biggest transfer this summertime was Bruno Guimaraes from a former Newcastle United player. And, he came in, he started that match, he played good. It's interesting to see how deeply dangerous Arsenal is. Arsenal squad depth is. And if you're a team in the Premier League and you want to compete against this team, you're looking at your bench and you're wondering, do you have the same Arsenal? Do you have the same quality of players that Arsenal has? I looked at the Arsenal lineup against Manchester City over the weekend. They started with a midfield of Bruno Guimaraes, they all Martinez, Miles Kelly, and their captain Odegaard. Declan Rice was on the bench. They had Zubimendi still on the bench. They had Mikel Merino on the bench. They had Ebrechi Eze on the bench. And I was like, dang, this team is dark and Arteta is cooking. And they're the defending champs. They have the bragging rights coming into this new season. It's not going to be easy for them because every team is looking forward to meeting them and looking forward to, giving them a challenge because now all hawk eyes are going to be on Arsenal moving into this new season. And if I was to put my money, if I'm not putting my money on Manchester United, I would go for Arsenal finishing second. They always finish second. That's their whole trophy. They like bottling. They like finishing second. So my favorite team to win this Premier League this season is Arsenal, but is Manchester United. But it's gonna be interesting to see how they compete, how they come out, how they challenge even deep in Europe. They're the runners up. They lost to PSG last season, and I'm looking forward and excited to see how Arsenal is going to look into this coming season. The team that I'm really interested in and I love because it's closer to my heart is Manchester United. In Manchester United last season, the people had written them off because the previous season they had finished 15th. Now coming last season, they were I think 15th. Then Amorim got fired. Michael Carrick came in, and when Michael Carrick took charge of Manchester United, they became the best team in the league. And coming into the off season, they lost Casemiro, they've lost Manu Gatti in the midfield because of injury, and a lot of buzz was made around it that Manchester United were going to be the most busiest team in the summer. Up to now, 2 weeks left into the closure of the transfer. If you ask me as a Manchester United fan, am I satisfied with what they've done into the season? I would say we still need more. I would say these 2 weeks can be made into proper use so that they can equip this team and give Michael Carrick enough ammunition coming into the new season. The management have seen what Michael Carrick is capable of. They've seen what he can do when you back him up. So if the board can get their ish together and they give Michael Carrick every arsenal that he needs, every weapon to compete in the Premier League, I think Manchester United is in a solid and pole position to compete at the highest level and even to run deep into the Champions League knockout stages, round of 32, round of 16, and even quarterfinals and semi-finals. So it's going to be interesting to see how Manchester compete against all these European giants, PSG, Madrid, and we're going to be talking about PSG and Madrid soon. because they've also bulked up coming into the new season. But Manchester United have acquired Audrey Santos from Chelsea, and they also acquired Yuri Tillemans from Chelsea, from Aston Villa. Premier League proven players. Santos is prominent. He looked good during the preseason, and I'm excited to see how that midfield link up between Tillemans, Bruno Fernandes, Kobe Mainoo, and Audrey Santos is going to run riot in the Premier League. Marcus Rashford too is back, so there's a lot of options in the left wing. There's also a lot of option up front. You have Buemo, you have Matheus Cunha, you have Benjamin Šeško. It's going to be not business as usual because Manchester United is already stacked, and this is the biggest team in the world, and I'm pretty sure they're going to run deep and they're going to be a good team. Let's go to Manchester City because this is the noisy neighbors to Manchester United. Manchester City, their biggest loss this season to begin with is their coach Pep Guardiola, who, depending on who you talk to, they will say he's the greatest, the GOAT of all coaches. But that's debate for another time. But Guardiola left. He was replaced by Enzo Maresca, who was at Chelsea. He was at Manchester City. Chelsea got him. He won the Club World Cup. He's the first manager to win the Club World Cup. And now he's at Manchester City. His first match was against Arsenal, who are defending champions. He lost 3-0. A lot of people are saying it's still early in the season to judge. But losing the stature of Pep Guardiola has left big foot to fill. And it's going to be interesting to see how Enzo Maresca will fit his ideas and coin his ideas around this team, especially now that they've also lost one of the most integral part of this team, the engine of the team, Rodri himself. But they've gone into the market. They bought Elliot Anderson, who is one of the highest highest priced British players, from Nottingham Forest to Manchester City. He performed good at the World Cup with the England team, and now he's coming into this Manchester City hoping to replace Rodri. They also out there looking for Boadi, who was Moroccan and performed good against Brazil and Casemiro at the World Cup. So given the ideas, I think Enzo Maresca is a good coach, but I also feel like Pep Guardiola has left huge and enormous shoes to be filled by this guy. So, there's always room for improvement for him, and those shoes are too big. He can always improve. I would still give him time. The squad looks good. The squad, they've planned themselves, and they understand that losing Rodri is not the end of the game. And now there's also some rumors that they're talking about Enzo Fernandes to come and try and coin, and so they lost two great people that made this team a great team, and that also understand the magnitude of the players and the coach they've lost, and they're out there in the market trying to equip themselves well so that they're not found off guard. So Manchester City looking good too. It's going to be interesting how they line up coming into this new season. Talk about the next blue team, which is Chelsea. Chelsea is known to be spending too much money in the transfer market. A lot of football fans, it doesn't sit well with a lot of football fans because they feel Chelsea is spoiling the market and is on a business model and not a football model where they buy and sell players at high prices. That's not a debate I want to put in Heart of the Matter channel right now. I just want to talk about Chelsea and give my thoughts and what I think. Right now, the biggest conundrum Chelsea has is the headache, Enzo Fernandez headache. Manchester City are really interested. His former coach, Enzo Maresca, want him at Manchester City. Chelsea don't want to sell. They gave Manchester City a deadline, but Manchester City didn't budge. So now it's going to be interesting with these 2 weeks remaining, how that is going to pan out down the line, and to see if Chelsea will retain Enzo Fernandez or they will send him to Manchester City. But they have a pretty promising coach Mr. Xabi Alonso, who was won by silverware with Bayern Leverkusen, the first team to ever beat Bayern Munich outside the Bundesliga. And he went to Real Madrid. We all understand how that ended, but it's a good time for both Chelsea and Xabi Alonso to redeem themselves, to bring back their lost glory that people have given, said, or tried to put label that they've lost that mojo. Chelsea will be playing one game, one match per week, and that is the Premier League. So they have a lot of room for improvement. They've also last season they were bashed for signing a lot of young players, and critics argued that is what worked against them. Now, this season they've decided to go a bit different. They bought a whole starting 11. We can list all the players Chelsea has bought. Chelsea buys 11 players every single transfer, and they're still buying players. So, but they, interestingly enough, this season they've been deliberate into buying experience. They bought Danny Welbeck, who's a former Manchester United. They brought Jordan Henderson, who is also a former Liverpool player. So it's going to be interesting how they blend the old guard and the Gen Zs and see how that cocktail blends in, and if that cocktail is enough to fuel this machine and enable this machine move forward and compete at the highest level. The next team that I want to talk about is the arch rival to Manchester United, who were Liverpool. Liverpool last season had a very interesting season. They were the defending champions, but they didn't look like defending champions. Hell was breaking loose. They lost one formidable player in Salah. They, at the end of the season, after doing season's review, they had to sack their manager and a slot and start rebuilding process. So they are now under new coach who's Iraola, and it's gonna be interesting how he comes and brings his ideologies into this new face Liverpool. Remember, they spent a lot of money on Florian Wirtz and also Alexander Isak. So what I'm looking for Liverpool this side is, can they redeem themselves? Can they find their footing and be at that spot where they can compete as the Jurgen Klopp Liverpool, or even something closer to that? They are also looking for Bradley Barcola from PSG. PSG is charging an arm and a leg for him. They also want Ibrahim Mbaye from PSG, and PSG asking a lot of money from these players. But Liverpool is adamant they have to bring them in because they are scared they might lose Cody Gakpo to Tottenham. So it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out, and if they can bring Barcola from PSG. That was going to be interesting. I love Barcola. I believe he's a nice super sub when he comes on. So I'm really interested to see how if he gets a chance to come and join Liverpool, how he plays and adapts to the Premier League, because a lot of people argue that the French league isn't that competitive, but PSG has shown us in the recent times that they can compete in what people term as the Farmers League and still come and dominate Europe and dominate these big leagues, teams from big leagues that we claim are the best league in the world. But Liverpool have not done much in the market. I think they acquired a defender and haven't had any match of other than their and the Munos. Those are the only, but they lost Salah, they lost Robertson, and they've also lost Konate. So kind of like a win-win. They spent a lot of money last season, so it's not, it's a no-brainer on what they're trying to do this season. It's kind of just reinforced the places they feel they had a lot of weaknesses, especially in the defense, and the people they felt like were not contributing to the ideologies of making Liverpool great again. Another interesting team, and I mentioned it just a couple of minutes ago, is Tottenham. Tottenham went and got De Zerbi. They were this close to being relegated, and they decided, you know what, we ain't going to be relegated no more. We have to go back into the Premier League. We have to go into the market. We have to back the coach that we have, and they got De Zerbi, and De Zerbi played all the players he wanted on the table, and Tottenham decided to break bank. And when I say Tottenham decided to break bank, I mean Tottenham decided to break bank. They bought Sandro Tonali. They brought Mateus Fernandes. Sandro Tonali is 400 mil, 108 mil. Mateus Fernandes 99 mil. They have Robertson, who came as a free agent. They have Sensei. They have Van Haneke for 60 mil. Tottenham mean business, and they're saying they're not done. That within the next 2 weeks before the transfer deadline comes to an end, they want Cody Gakpo and they want Savinho, one or the other. And if they can get both, they also want both. But at this point, their main focus is rebuilding and reinforcing the attack because they don't feel like they have the strongest attack. But remember, James Maddison is also coming back from an injury. So Tottenham is going to be interesting to see how De Zerbi implement and integrate his ideologies. Will we see the old De Zerbi at Brighton? Will we see the De Zerbi that went to Olympique Marseille bring his ideology? They're also privileged that they'll be playing one game in a week, and that's give them enough time to hammer and build and coin the whole team. De Zerbi to just bring his ideologies and see if they can compete at the highest level that we expect them to compete. And that's gonna be interesting. And I'm looking forward to see what De Zerbi brings to the table. He's a good manager. I've always wanted him to come to Manchester United. We weren't fortunate enough to get him, but now Tottenham has him, and I'm interested, and I'll be watching a lot of Tottenham games just to see the blending juice that De Zerbi wants to do with all these new ideologies that he's come up with and the people he wants to bring. I'm a pivot away from the Premier League, and then I'll come back and give you my prediction for the Premier League. Let us go to Spain, which we're just gonna touch two teams, and that is Real Madrid and Barcelona. Let me start with the Barcelona side because I believe Real Madrid did too much in this market, and they deserve quite an extensive time. Barcelona lost Frankie de Jong to injury, and they decided to go for Rodri. Now, Rodri saga started with him wanting to go to Madrid, but I guess because of Ballon d'Or and Vinicius Jr. and what happened around that time, the president Florentino Perez, they want to veto the idea of having Rodri over there. But Rodri fell in love because he's from Madrid, Spain, and he fell in love with Real Madrid. He's always wanted to go to Real Madrid. But because of the delay of the president and him vetoing the fact that he didn't really want, he gave a last minute deal or authority to sign Rodri, and then Barcelona had already came in, and Barcelona decided to, Rodri decided that he's choosing Barcelona over Real Madrid, and it's going to be interesting. Barcelona looks stark, especially in the midfield. They have Pedro, they have Gavi, they have Fermin Lopez, they have Rodri now in the midfield. They have Frankie de Jong injured, but when he comes back, he's a monster. It's interesting how to see how this team is going to, they also have Daniel. It's interesting to see how this team is going to blend in, ensure that they get whatever they compete at the highest level and they beat their arch rival. I always believe, however start Barcelona or however shit Barcelona is, they will still beat Real Madrid. That's how the football gods have always said, have always made it. And this season, I'm looking forward for El Clasico. I think El Clasico is going to be a bloodbath for sure. El Clasico this season is going to be a bloodbath. But yeah, in the front side, they've lost Lewandowski to Chicago Fire, and they acquired Aaron Gordon for 80 mil from Newcastle United. Yeah. I had to pause for a minute because I'm just trying to wrap my head around. You have Marcus Rashford. He scores one of the winning goals for you to win the La Liga title. And then you don't want to pay 30 mil. You decide to go and spend 80 mil to get Aaron Gordon. Mind blown by what Barcelona pulled in that. But yeah, they made a choice, they made a bed. Right now, they're coming into this season without a striker. There's been rumors they want Victor Gyökeres, the masked man at Arsenal. But I don't know how if they're gonna get him because Arteta seem to be, guarding and selfish with the squad he has. He wants all his players. He wants a deep squad. So Barcelona right now they're in the market looking for a striker, and I believe Lamine Yamal. We can't write off Lamine Yamal. He's promising star. So I still believe Barcelona can compete, but I feel like the front line needs to be reinforced. They have to figure out a way they are going to replace Lewandowski. Now, on to the other side of La Liga, the biggest team in Spain, that is Real Madrid. And Real Madrid this season, or this summer transfer, they said they were going for blood. They were going all in. They're doing everything they need after coming out capless last season. They want to reinforce this squad. They want to bring all their ammunition. Anybody they felt they needed to bring. Talk of them, first of all, acquiring the special one. I am Jose Mourinho, the special one. A sweet reunion with their with the old coach Jose Mourinho, and now Florentino Perez decided to go all in. He decided to back up his coach. He brought Cucurella, he brought Konate, he brought Yan Diomande with a record fee of 90 mil. He has bought Bernardo Silva on free transfer from Manchester City. Real Madrid has bulked, and he knew that Barcelona wanted Julian Alvarez. He decided to send 150 mil to Atletico Madrid just to cancel the plans of Barcelona getting Julian Alvarez, because he knew if Barcelona were to bid for Julian Alvarez and get Julian Alvarez, that was game over for them. But Real Madrid this season, they've said, we are not joking. We are coming for blood, and we're coming for blood, and we smell it in water, and we are in. They are not messing. And remember, they also have Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe. Real Madrid, there's no team in Europe right now that has done quite a business like Madrid. I wonder how, and I'm interested to see how you're going to blend Yan Diomande, you have Kylian Mbappe, you have Vinicius Jr. on this side, and then you still have Adagala, you have Endrich. I'm looking forward to see how this team is going to be formed. How Mourinho is he going to park the bus? Is he going to bring another different playing style? Mourinho is a great coach, but I want to see how he gels his idea into this team, because this team has super talent. This team this team is a well-rounded team. They also got Dumfries from Inter Milan. So this team is a well-oiled machine. It just need to be these great parts to be put in the right place and see how this machine can move and roll forward. Moving from Madrid, let's jump board our plane all the way to Paris, the city of love, and go talk briefly about Paris Saint-Germain. Paris Saint-Germain are the current defending champions. They just won the Super Cup against Aston Villa. They're looking star. Bradley Barcola is feeling unsettled over there, so he's wanting a move away from Parc de France. But they've got Nika Götze from Ajax. They've got Ferran Torres from Barcelona. So Paris, they're looking good. And Luis Enrique is all out. He says this season they want to win 3 in a row, just like Madrid won Champions League 3 in a row. And he's committed, and everybody in that team is committed that that's what they want. Unfortunately, last weekend they lost the French early opening cup that ushers in the new season. And I don't know if that's going to be a setback. I don't know if that is an alarm call for them to wake up and remember what the goal is. But yeah, as we speak, they're back on the drawing board after losing that cup to a small team. They're hoping that when the season kicks off, they kick off up and running. Another team that also has been out there and is competing at a high level is Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, with all due respect, Harry Kane last season had one of the best season. He had a good campaign at the World Cup. He scored 6 goals at the World Cup. So he's coming into a new season looking good. Sando Lise, I call him Sando Lise, but Michael Lise, he's the star. He's the creme de la creme, assist king. Had like 6 assists at the World Cup. Came in last season, had a good season. They finished in, they were eliminated by Paris in round of 16, but I feel like this season they're looking good. They've signed Saibari. The preseason we've been seeing Yamin Yamal had issues. I don't know how serious those is, but prayers and thoughts goes to Lamine and his family. Your health first. We wish you quick recovery. We love and enjoy how you play. We hope that you feel and get better in these trying times. And, all we can say right now is just all the best. We pray and hope that you're safe, that you can regain your health back, and you can be out there doing what you love, whatever that thing is. If, whatever that thing is, we hope you'll be out there doing it. But Bayern look good. And coming into the new season with all the bad taste in their mouth, losing to Paris in the semi-finals, I believe Bayern also coming in there like, we can do it this one and at this time. And Vincent Kompany has said and committed that this season we're going to see a different Bayern, and that's going to be interesting. And I would say, gentlemen, Champions League this season, that is going to be a banger, a cracker, a mind blow. It's going to be fireworks, bloodbath. Now, I've touched on majority of the teams that are in the top creme de la creme of the league. I just wanted to come in here, give a brief thoughts about what I have, give a brief description on which team is going to win what and what position. So if I haven't got to start in the Premier League, the team that I believe and have high hopes that is going to win the Premier League is none other than Manchester United. I believe whether they do a lot in the market or not, Manchester United was the best team coming into the end of the season. Michael Carrick has gelled his ideas. Rashford coming back. I'm not a huge fan of Rashford coming back, but we're here, so we're going to support the boy. Rashford coming back. Audrey Santos looked locked in. Kobe Mainoo needs to, he didn't get a single minute in the World Cup, so he still feel like there's something he needs to prove himself, and this is his season to prove himself. Yuri Tillman, Premier League proven experience, controls the tempo, doesn't shy away from. I'm glazing Manchester United a lot, but yeah, number one, I'm gonna go with Manchester United being number one. Arsenal at number 2. Then I'm gonna throw a spanner into the works in this, and I want to be a little bit controversial. I believe that Tottenham will pull a stinker and be a number 3. And then we can go Chelsea or Manchester City at 4, Chelsea at 5, and then Liverpool can decide which number they want from after 6. Whichever number they want, they can take it from there. We don't care. Yes. I'm sorry, Liverpool fans. I'm just joking. But yeah, that is my prediction for the Premier League. Premier League officially starts this weekend. In La Liga, I will go with Madrid winning the title. Jose Mourinho is going to pull strings. He is the special one. He's going to do things people have never seen. And I believe Madrid are coming for blood. And they're going to be a problem in Europe coming next season. So in La Liga, I'll go with Madrid winning. Of course, Bayern will win, and PSG is going to win. Now back to Champions League, where I feel we need to have a conversation. We need to talk about a little bit because Madrid is looking good. PSG wants their third. Manchester United is back for the after a while. Arsenal came close and they're like, this is now the time to hammer the nail on the head. Now I believe the team that will come close or the team that might win, I can put my money on that. Fear Real Madrid. Fear Real Madrid, and where they got experience, they got that squad depth, and they have the most dangerous coach in football history at this time, and that is Jose Mourinho. I'm going to put my money for Real going for its 16th. If Real doesn't win that, then my next bet will be Manchester United. Manchester United is going to win its 4th Champions League trophy before we can start doing You Can See Me. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Please subscribe, like, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. Come to this channel every weekend. Every week we'll be meeting here talking about what happened on the weekend when the league is playing. I'll be doing a season review for when basketball comes back in October. I will also bring in season review for NFL football and what to expect, who to look out for. Who to look out for in this Premier League? I would say Kobe Mainoo, Audrey Santos, I would also put my money on Estevao at Chelsea. I like that kid, and I believe this is his season. But yes, tell a friend to tell a friend. This is Heart of the Matter, and we were doing a season review for what's coming in this upcoming season. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. This is the best sports channel. Ciao.